What is up, Waffle Gang? I too hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. I'm really enjoying these just recently, so I hope you are too. If you are, please consider hitting a like, that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's jump straight in to today's stories. Much luck, guys. Now, our first story comes from Throwaway Evil Stepmom. My dad's 43 girlfriend is trying to get rid of me, 50 female. My mum passed away 5 years ago, and I think of her every day. My dad went for a really bad depression, and I had to take care of myself, basically. During the Christmas holidays, my dad told me that he had been seeing someone for a while. I noticed that he was happier, and I guess I was happy for him. I didn't want him to be lonely forever, but I did feel like my mum was being erased completely. He never wanted to talk about her, and he'd get rid of all of her pictures with her in them. He said that his girlfriend would be spending Christmas with us and then moving in. I wasn't happy at all. I don't even know her, but I didn't say anything. I met her on Christmas, and usually my dad and I put a star on the tree that day. We would put the star on the tree and watch The Grinch. It's our tradition, and we kept it even when we were grieving my mum. It's the only tradition from when she was with us that we actually kept. When his girlfriend came over, he put the star on with her while I was in the bathroom. Also, we didn't watch The Grinch because she hates it. I know I sound spoiled and childish, but I was so angry. We've been doing this my whole life, and she just came in and destroyed it. The whole night, she didn't even bother getting to know me at all. She was all over my dad and pretty much ignored me. I told my dad about how upset I was about our tradition, and he said I should grow up and that things changed. I didn't like her because she gave me a bad feeling, so I never got close to her. She complained to my dad about it, and he got mad at me for not making her feel welcomed. I felt bad because she makes my dad really happy, so I tried being more friendly with her. In front of my dad, she was nice to me, but when we were alone, she ignored me or spoke to me with attitude. She even told me that I was a brat, and I made my dad's life harder. I told him, but he didn't believe me and yelled at me for trying to sabotage his relationship. He said that I wanted him to die alone and be sad and that I was selfish. I was so shocked because none of it is true. My dad basically treated me like I wasn't there at all after that. I felt like I did when my mum died, all alone. I stayed up really late one night because I just couldn't sleep and wanted to sneak in a midnight snack. The girlfriend was in the kitchen on FaceTime, so I decided to be nosy and listen. She was talking about my dad and how much she loves him. Then she said that he had this dumb daughter, and she wondered if it was too late for adoption. Her and her friend laughed at that. She said that I was a little bitch, and she hated me. Her friend then said something about boarding school or military school, but I left, so I didn't hear the rest. I was so exhausted from all the crying I did, so I actually slept. I didn't tell my dad, and I don't even know if I should, since he probably won't believe me. I really miss my mum. I kind of want to go live with my grandparents, mum's parents. Now I don't want my dad to think that I'm leaving him. What do I do? Can I even do anything? How do I get my dad to listen to me? Would I be the wrong for leaving? Now, personally, I'm not sure what the legalities are if you was able to go to your grandparents or not, but that's what I would suggest in this situation. It sounds like your dad is closed down, whether it's from grief or not. You know, we always say like mental health and grief is not an excuse to be an arsehole. It seems like that's what he's doing. He's not listened to, he's totally closed down, and all he's seeing is this relationship at the moment. So I would say if you can, go to your grandparents, because I think it'll be the best option for you. You don't deserve to be treated like this, and I think it would be best for you personally. And then see what he does as a reaction to you going. And I may be totally wrong in that, but that's the way I feel. I don't think that OP should have to suffer through this. But Crunchy Peanut says, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Unfortunately, your dad has blinders on right now, and anything you say will either fall on deaf ears or his girlfriend will spin it so she's the victim. Your dad is making all the wrong moves with introducing a new girlfriend to you aside of picking a bad girlfriend in the first place. This relationship will have to take its course for a while. Don't feel bad about reaching out to your grandparents and seeing if you can live with them. Your dad is making selfish choices recently, and you're the only one you can rely on to look out for you right now. Let his girlfriend have him. She'll show her true colors soon enough once they live together day to day. But she doesn't have you to be ugly to, she'll take it out on him. And Enough Drawing says, go to your grandparents. You can't leave someone who has already left, and emotionally, that is what he's done. Once you're safely away at your grandparents, if he complains, wants an explanation, or anything at all, just send him a link to this post. It's hard to argue with the written word. If he tells you it's untrue or tries to argue with your accounting, tell him you won't talk to him if he's just going to undermine your feelings or insinuate that you're a liar. and that you would not be accused of trying to ruin his happiness, that was an extremely cruel thing for him to say, and you do not deserve his cruelty. So go be happy, Dad. No one's trying to stop you. Then focus on you, kiddo. Get settled with the grandparents, reminisce about your mum, take the time you need to heal, ask your grandparents if you can have counseling. You might not feel you need it, but sometimes it's just nice to talk to someone who understands but isn't emotionally biased one way or the other. And it can help you work through your own feelings and give you the tools to deal with things like conflict and guilt. Give your dad time to chew over what you told him. I wish I could tell you everything will work out fine, but there's no guarantees in life. All the more reason you must take care of yourself and do what's in your best interests. And staying with Dad is not likely in your best interests. He's putting his relationship ahead of you. So you need to put yourself ahead of his choices. So sorry, kiddo. You've had a hard go of it. Be gentle with yourself. None of what is happening is on you, regardless of what your dad or sneaky-ass girlfriend want to imply. So the first update says, since my last post, I spoke to my grandparents and told them everything. I asked if I could stay with them if I wanted to, and they agreed. I then spoke to my dad again and tried to tell him how I felt and what I had heard. I didn't want to film or record because I knew that he would be mad at that and wouldn't listen. He didn't believe me again and thought I was jealous of having to share him with someone else. I got upset and told him that I was leaving so he could live happily ever after without the burden and having me around. He looked shocked but didn't say anything. I had already packed my bags and had brought some things to my grandparents' house already. My dad didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My grandfather picked me up and I've been there since. I haven't gone home and I haven't heard from my dad. My grandparents told me that they would handle my dad and that I shouldn't have to be the one doing it. I'm upset that my dad hasn't called or texted me once to see if I'm okay. At the same time, I'm feeling so much better being with my grandparents. My grandmother is probably the sweetest person ever, and my grandfather is all the rough around the edges, but he's really a softie. And then there was a final edit which had to go to another website because it was deleted by the mods at some point, and it said, my dad came to visit me at my grandparents' place to talk to me. He brought his girlfriend with him. He said, girlfriend and I have been talking, and we decided that it's best you stay here. My dad said I can come clean out my room completely and he'll help. He also said that after I get my things, we should take a break from each other and reevaluate things in a few months or however long it takes. His girlfriend then said something about how she'd take care of my dad for me. In a few days, I'll be going over with my grandparents to get my stuff. We'll also be getting the important papers that some of you have mentioned. It doesn't look like I'll be going home anytime soon. I have a new home now, I guess. To be honest, I've been feeling pretty bad about some of the comments, specifically one saying that since I probably reminded him my mum, that's why he's like that with me. He got rid of everything of my mum's, and I was the last piece of my mum, so it makes sense he doesn't want me anymore. I really wish she was still here. I think he wants to start over, and I wasn't a part of that plan, so I guess that's it. Thank you all for your kind comments. Take a break from his child. What an arsehole. Absolutely doesn't deserve OP in my opinion. I can't believe, I know we say grief comes in all different forms and all that sort of stuff, but there's no excuse to treat your child like this. I'm very, very sorry, but there's no way that's an excuse, and it really pisses me off, to be quite honest. But Monkey says that you poor girl, parents can't take a break from their kids. It's not optional. He'd be taking care of you. I'm so sorry. Escalator says, sorry, but your dad is a fucking arsehole and a stupid prick for choosing his girlfriend over you. He should love you and not see you as part of your mum. My mum acted the same way after my dad died, and she got plenty of new kids from my stepdad. Now me and brother are just leftovers from my dad. I was 16 at the time, and I left as soon as I could. Seriously, I'm so sorry, getting very emotional. Fuck your dad and my mum, and I'm sorry for you. Move in with your grandparents and block him out your life. He will regret it, not you. This hit home. I'm sorry. And we're finished with one more from Idly Browsing, who says, on a practical note, please tell your grandparents are looking to getting legal guardianship over you. After that, they need to sue him for child support, and he should be paying for your basic needs. On an emotional note, your story absolutely breaks my heart. Your father has failed you. I'm so sorry this happened, and it's not your fault. I'm thoroughly ashamed of him on your behalf. Now, what do you guys make of this story? Let me know your comments below, and we'll move on to the next one. And this next story comes from Throw Rahans. My 26 male wife, 27 female cheated, but my family are taking her side and making things harder for me. We grew up almost together. Our parents were close friends, and we lived in the same building. I used to hate her when I was a kid because she was always better than me, and I can say she received more love from my parents than me. We both got accepted in the best uni in our country, but they only held a party for her, and their excuse was she ranked second in the whole country, while I was only top 50. But she herself cared for me more than anyone else. She confessed to me when I was 17, and we got married when I was 23, 3 years ago. We had a great marriage until 3 months ago I came home, and before going in, I stopped to smoke a cigarette. Then I heard my wife's voice from the window. I went closer to talk to her, and it was when I heard her saying, "We should end this, it's wrong. I love Dan," what she calls me. "Don't call me again." I felt like I wanted to throw up. My stomach felt really, really bad, but after a few minutes I calmed down and went in. I didn't say anything to her. I was trying to convince myself maybe I'm wrong. Later my wife left the house to go to the gym. She always leaves her phone at home when she'd go into the gym. After struggling for a few minutes, I decided to check her phone. I can open it with my fingerprints. It was her decision to add my fingerprints so I can use it in case of an emergency. I find the chats very fast. They've been talking since 1 month ago. I was expecting that she had already deleted anything about him, but well, it was all there. I knew the guy from high school. He had nothing but looks. After reading the chats, I realized they got in contact in a school gathering party, and my wife asked him a few questions about photos since he's a model, and they had a meeting, which I didn't know about. After they were more intimate and went on a second date, he kissed her in that date and they talked about it in the chat. It was for 2 days ago. I had enough, I stopped reading. I wrote, "I want a divorce. How did you do that to me?" on paper and left it on top of the phone, with chat still opened, and left the house. I turned off my phone and went to my parents' house. Next day I woke up and she was there. I soon realized that my parents think we had a problem and want to help us. They kept saying married couples always fight and we should overcome these issues. I was really tired, angry, and when my father repeated almost the same thing, I shouted, "She fucking cheated on me. She cheated on me," and then realized I'm crying. I left the house and went to my house. I expected my parents to take my side and stop bothering me, but next day, my mother called me and said she explained everything to me. She's really sorry, it's not that bad. She didn't have any close relationship with him. We should be forgiving. I was desperate. I said no, I want a divorce, and she kept telling those things again. And she was saying I'm overreacting, it was only a small mistake, and it's not like they had sex, they just met 2 times. I hung up. A few days later on, I went to my parents' house to talk to my father about selling the house after divorce, and he said, "I'll only allow you in my house with your wife," and closed the door. It was the second saddest moment in my life after I realized my wife cheated. It's been 3 months, so my parents keep asking me to forgive her and don't allow me in their house. We're still married because she refused to sign the divorce papers, and in my country, if one of the partners refused to get a divorce, it will take lots of time, and they have to first participate in 3 sessions with a therapist. And she's been following me wherever she can, crying, asking me to give her another chance, and seeing her like this made me really sad because I really loved her. But I just can't forgive her. I just can't trust her anymore, and not think about how she cheated on me. I don't know anymore what to do with my life, how to deal with my parents, or even how to make her stop. P.S. In my country, unless she does something serious like hurt to me, I can't sue her for anything, and I honestly don't even want to know if that was possible. Now, the worst thing in this one to me is that they're just given in no space after the fact. Even the parents like turning on him and saying that you can't come in the house unless your wife is with you. And wife following you around and crying and stuff. You're just given no space by anyone. That's absolutely disgusting. And we do have an update to this story, which we're going to cover straight away. I'll give you a brief overview of the initial comments. A lot of people were saying about getting the lawyer, cut her out of life, and cut the family out of life, and just getting away from everyone to give yourself a little bit of space. But we'll check out the update to see what that says. So the update says, since things are almost over and I'm in a better situation, I decided to post an update. I considered some of the comments, especially about my parents. About 20 days ago, one of our friends gives me a message from her. She said she would sign the papers if I meet her and listen to her words. I used a new SIM card and didn't check my social apps, so I had no contact with her. We meet, well, it was really awkward. She wasn't even sure what she wants to tell me, or even if she wants to talk about it, but eventually she explained herself a little. She said that they didn't have physical contact and it was just one kiss, which I said I don't care, she lost my trust and that's it, and a lot of other words. I was trying to be cold when she started crying, and I lost it, and she asked me for a second chance. I said, you know me enough, so you already know if I give you another chance, I won't be able to treat you the same, and I don't want to do that. I asked for her to sign the papers with my lawyer, which she did. Then I walked her to her car and she said, I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that and I was out of my mind, but I still love you more than anything. I wanted to say, you wouldn't have done this if you actually loved me, but I controlled myself. It's obvious that I still have feelings for her, but I didn't want to make the ending more sad. As for my parents, I talked to them several times, but my mother got a little better, and after I told her about her signing the papers, she said she'll remove from inheritance and give everything to my sister, and I said I don't care. Not I actually don't care about money, but I have enough of my own, and my sister hates my parents more than anyone, and I know she wouldn't accept their money at all. She is into women, and my parents are Muslim, so it is completely unacceptable for them, so they hurt a lot before she left, and they finally had to accept her after years. I knew she would only visit them once a year at best, but we have a good relationship. Even though my wife is her close friend, she supported me. So while I'm talking with my mum a little, my relationship with my father is non-existent until we accept this fact. And this time I want him to say you will support me from now on, and he made a mistake in the past. I didn't want this to spread because of my own reputation, which is important here, but it did anyway. About 1 week ago, my friend called me saying he knows about all this and says he's really sorry. The guy manager is working for his company, and he already talked to him, and he won't get any other job. It's a small industry, and he will make sure that he won't get accepted in any other agency. Well, you guys might say that it won't help you feel any better, and it's not moral, but what he did also was immoral. A few days later, finally the guy came to my office to apologize, which obviously is because of his job, but I didn't accept. After a while, he got frustrated or angry or whatever and started bad-mouthing me and my ex-wife. I punched him in the face, and he was dragged out by guards. He won't be able to sue me because if he does, and I bring up his relationship with my ex-wife to the police, he'll be in big trouble. In our country, it's considered a very big crime and also has crazy punishment. I don't want to act like what I did was correct. I know it was wrong, but at least I won't have these thoughts about why I didn't sue him or anything to do with him anymore. Sorry, got let along. I was actually thinking about them again when I was writing it, and it was definitely one of the hardest and saddest parts of my life. And I think I kind of get the feelings from my peers. I know a lot of people can work out the relationship, even if they kissed or, sometimes even had sex with another partner and stuff like that. But I think it's more just the breaking of the trust, you've gone someone, you had these feelings for another person. I know it does happen all the time, but I think I'd be very much in OP's position, breaking that trust. I don't know if I'd be able to treat someone the same way in the future, and it's not good. It just wouldn't be a good relationship for either of them. But this story certainly escalated towards the end, with him punching him in the face and the guy losing his job. But what do you guys make of this story? And I apologize if I got any of the bits wrong there. The guy mentioned his English wasn't his first language, so I was trying to read between some of the lines there, here and there. I mean, whenever anyone says English isn't their first language, it's usually written much better than I can. Fair play to him. But what do you guys make of this story and our other story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending 20 minutes or so of your day with me. It means the absolute world. And I will see you, hopefully, in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.